here we have what was my great-grandfather's 1946 Farmall A. Bought it new here in New Milford. It was on his farm until 1986 when my grandfather sold the farm. And my uncle took possession of the tractor. Wasn't really supposed to, but that's a story for another day. And he kept it for a couple of years, sold it out of the family, 1988, to a gentleman here in town, who then passed it down to his son, who brought it up to upstate New York. Palatine Bridge, New York, about 3 hours away, up in central New York. And I knew who had bought it. Didn't know where it had gone after the gentleman that bought it passed away. Started asking around about 10 years ago. Located the gentleman that owned it. He did not want to sell it at the time, but said he would. Over the course of that 10 years, I spoke with him several times. Finally, last year, we came to a deal where I would trade him another tractor exactly like this one in order to get this one back. He had relocated back to Milford. It was still at a friend of his place up in Palatine Bridge. So we drove up there and picked it up. If you notice, it's this piece of plate steel here and all that weld. The weld actually goes down into the front there. It's hard to see it, but at some point in the late 70s, my grandfather was mowing field with it and dropped that front tire down into a woodchuck hole and broke the front off the tractor. So my father was like, all right, well, I guess we'll have to weld it back together. So there it is. He welded it back together and built this support plate for it back in the late 70s. It's been that way ever since. And you can see where the grill had gotten smashed. I straightened all that out. It was still bent when I got it back. Very original tractor. Never been painted. The front hubs have been painted, but I'm going to strip that off and get it back down to the original. You can see the original decals there. International Harvester muffler. Carburetor, generator. Original rear tires from 1946. Good years. Original fabric still on the seat. Lights, everything's original. Drawbar. This tractor had a sickle bar mower on it, so it did not have a drawbar on it. The gentleman that had it for years up in New York had a belly mower on it. Was using it to mow about 6 or 8 acres of grass, almost like lawn, field type grass. Battery box is not original. That was gone when I got it. The guy had the battery under the seat. They usually rot out pretty quickly. Original serial tag. My plans for this, as much as I'd like to keep it all original, I'm going to retain all the original parts, but I'm going to modify it to pull with it. Unfortunately, this engine block will not accept the larger sleeves and pistons that I would like to put in it to pull with it. So it's going to go in favor of a slightly newer engine block that I can put the larger sleeves in, and also has larger main bearing journals that I can put a longer stroke crank in. It's currently at 113 cubic inches. The goal is to get it to about 143 cubic inches with larger bore and a 1/4 inch more stroke. And a newer cylinder head. Have a cam reground for it, larger carburetor, larger intake. Currently stock, they're like 16 to 18 horsepower. Probably be about 55 horsepower when I'm done with it. Obviously larger rear tires, probably go up to a 28-inch rim. These are 24s. I have to build a hitch for the back, blah, blah, blah. But I don't like having stuff that doesn't get used. And currently all it's really good for is riding around on, because I don't have a farm. And you know, the kids like driving it, but the kids will still be able to drive it after I'm done with it. So it'll probably have to run on race gas when I'm done. Be about 10.5, 11 to 1 compression. And we're starting to compile parts for it. Hopefully have it done by spring to bring it through some pulls next year. But retain all the original parts, put them in storage, so it can be brought back to original, no permanent modifications, all bolt-on stuff. Also, all international parts, no aftermarket hot rod parts. Do it the old-fashioned way. What do you think, little man? Yeah. Are you gonna take it up to the farm tomorrow so you can drive it more?